The general reached for her scope, then she crushed his wrist and landed 13 shots. When Brigadier General Richard Hawthorne attempted to sabotage Staff Sergeant Alina Moscov's performance during the International Military Sniper Championship by seizing her precision optics just moments before the final challenge, he believed his rank and political connections would protect him from consequences, while eliminating a competitor whose exceptional marksmanship threatened American military prestige. What he didn't anticipate was that her Russian Spetsnaz training would enable her to neutralize his interference with devastating efficiency, while executing the most legendary shooting demonstration in competitive military history. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. The International Military Sniper Championship represented the pinnacle of precision shooting competition, bringing together the world's most elite marksmen from 37 countries for 5 days of increasingly challenging scenarios that tested every aspect of long-range shooting under conditions that simulated the most demanding operational environments. The competition's reputation for excellence attracted spectators from across the global military community, including defense ministers and senior officers who viewed the event as a showcase of national military capabilities. Staff Sergeant Alina Moskov had earned her position representing the Russian Federation through exceptional performance during Spetsnaz sniper training and subsequent operational deployments where her marksmanship skills had been proven under combat conditions that confirmed her qualification among the world's most capable precision shooters. Her selection to compete at the international level reflected both her technical competence and strategic importance for demonstrating Russian military excellence. The competition venue at Fort Bragg provided ideal conditions for testing long-range shooting skills, with carefully designed ranges extending beyond 2,500 meters and target systems that challenged even the most experienced military snipers from around the world. The facility's sophisticated scoring systems and environmental monitoring equipment ensured that results reflected pure shooting skill rather than favorable conditions or equipment advantages. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now, back to the story. Brigadier General Richard Hawthorne represented American interests in the competition as both participant and political observer. His 28 years of military service and multiple combat deployments establishing him as one of the most accomplished precision shooters in U.S. Army Special Operations Command. His participation was viewed as virtually guaranteeing victory for the American team, given his extensive competitive experience and reputation for performing exceptionally well under pressure situations. The competition format included individual and team events that tested various aspects of sniper capabilities, from rapid target engagement to extreme long-range precision shooting under environmental conditions that simulated operational challenges faced by military marksmen in diverse combat theaters. The competition's reputation for excellence attracted spectators from across the global military community, including defense ministers and senior officers who viewed the event as a showcase of national military capabilities. Alina's preparation for the final round included detailed analysis of environmental conditions, ammunition selection, and equipment configuration that would optimize her rifle's performance for the specific challenges presented by the 13-target course. Her methodical approach reflected systematic thinking that had made her successful throughout Spetsnaz training and operational experience. The competition rules specified that shooters would engage targets in sequence from longest to shortest range, with scoring based on accuracy and consistency rather than speed, though excessive delays would result in penalties that could affect final standings. The format was designed to reward precision and mental toughness rather than rapid fire, emphasizing qualities that made military snipers effective in operational environments. General Hawthorne's strategy for the final round appeared to focus on psychological intimidation of competitors rather than optimizing his own shooting performance. His behavior during equipment preparation suggested that he viewed mental pressure as crucial for maintaining expected American dominance in the competition. His approach to international competitors had been marked by condescending comments and attempts at distraction. Weather conditions for the final round were challenging but manageable, with variable winds and changing light conditions that would test shooters' abilities to adapt their techniques to environmental factors that could significantly affect bullet trajectory and target visibility at extreme ranges. The conditions were considered ideal for determining true championship-level capabilities under pressure. As competitors prepared for the final elimination round that would determine individual and team champions, tension was evident among both participants and spectators, who understood they were about to witness the highest levels of military precision shooting competition. The stakes were high not only for individual recognition, but for national pride and demonstration of military capabilities before an international audience of defense officials and military leaders. Brigadier General Richard Hawthorne's 28-year military career had been built upon exceptional marksmanship skills and an increasingly entrenched belief in American military superiority that had transformed legitimate competitive success into dismissive arrogance toward foreign competitors whom he viewed as inherently inferior to American military personnel and training standards. His assumptions about inevitable victory reflected institutional biases that had been reinforced through decades of unchallenged dominance in international competitions. Hawthorne's sniper training at the U.S. Army Sniper School had established him as one of the most naturally gifted shooters in his generation, with scores that consistently exceeded requirements, while his technical understanding of ballistics, environmental factors, and equipment optimization demonstrated analytical capabilities that separated elite marksmen from merely competent rifle shooters. His early success had created expectations of continued dominance that shaped his competitive philosophy. His operational deployments to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria had provided opportunities to demonstrate precision shooting skills under combat conditions, with confirmed eliminations at ranges exceeding 1,800 meters that established his reputation as one of the military's most capable snipers. His combat record included several high-value target engagements that had been crucial for mission success, while earning him recognition and advancement through Special Operations Command. The transition from operational sniper to competitive shooting had been natural for Hawthorne, whose technical skills and competitive drive made him a dominant force in international military marksmanship competitions. His victories in multiple championship events had been decisive, with scores that established new records while demonstrating clear American superiority over competitors from nations he viewed as having inferior training programs and equipment. His success in competitive shooting had reinforced Hawthorne's belief in inherent American superiority while creating resentment toward any competitor who might challenge expected victory, particularly those from nations he considered strategic adversaries, whose success would represent unacceptable challenges to American military prestige and institutional reputation. His attitude toward Russian competitors was particularly dismissive. His assessment of Russian military capabilities was based on outdated Cold War assumptions about Soviet training methods and equipment quality that failed to recognize post-Cold War improvements in Russian special operations training and marksmanship programs. His dismissal of contemporary Russian capabilities reflected institutional bias rather than current intelligence about Spetsnaz training standards and operational effectiveness. Hawthorne's preparation for the current championship had been characterized by overconfidence and minimal practice. His assumptions about inevitable victory based on American technological superiority rather than current readiness or respect for competitors who might have improved their capabilities since previous international competitions. His approach reflected dangerous complacency that could affect performance under pressure. The psychological profiling that had been part of his special operations selection had identified competitive drive and confidence as strengths, while noting tendencies toward arrogance and difficulty accepting challenges to perceived American superiority. The assessment had recommended continued monitoring of his attitude toward international competitors to prevent behavioral problems that might create diplomatic complications. His interaction with foreign competitors during international events had consistently reflected condescending attitude that created tension with allies while reinforcing adversarial relationships with strategic competitors. His comments about Russian military capabilities had been particularly inflammatory, reflecting personal bias rather than professional assessment of contemporary capabilities and training standards. The Pentagon's assignment of Hawthorne to represent American interests in the championship reflected both his technical qualifications and political importance as demonstration of American military excellence, but his selection had created concerns among diplomatic personnel who worried about his attitude toward international competitors and potential for creating incidents that might complicate strategic relationships. His approach to equipment selection and preparation reflected both technical expertise and psychological gamesmanship, with expensive modifications and specialized ammunition designed as much to intimidate competitors as to optimize performance. His rifle represents tens of thousands of dollars in custom work that provided marginal performance improvements while creating impressive displays of American technological sophistication. Recent performance evaluations had noted Hawthorne's exceptional technical skills, while documenting concerns about his attitude toward international competitors and increasingly unprofessional behavior during events where he felt challenged by foreign shooters whose capabilities exceeded his expectations. The evaluations recommended counseling regarding diplomatic sensitivity and professional conduct. His specific assessment of Staff Sergeant Alina Moskov had been particularly dismissive, based on assumptions about Russian female military personnel that reflected outdated stereotypes rather than current intelligence about Spetsnaz training standards and selection criteria. His underestimation of her capabilities was rooted in cultural bias rather than professional analysis of her demonstrated performance. The psychological pressure that Alina's exceptional preliminary performance had created for Hawthorne was evident in his increasingly aggressive behavior toward international competitors and his growing focus on undermining foreign success rather than optimizing his own shooting performance. His response to being challenged revealed insecurity beneath his confident facade. Intelligence briefings about current Russian military capabilities that Hawthorne had received emphasized technological limitations and training deficiencies that were based on incomplete information rather than comprehensive assessment of contemporary Spetsnaz programs and operational effectiveness. His institutional bias had been reinforced rather than challenged by inadequate intelligence preparation. The approach to the final elimination round had revealed Hawthorne's growing desperation, as Alina's performance made clear that she represented genuine threat to expected American victory, forcing him to consider tactics that went beyond normal competitive psychological pressure to more direct interference with competitor preparation and equipment. His decision to attempt equipment sabotage represented fundamental violation of competitive ethics and military honor that revealed the extent to which his institutional bias and personal arrogance had overcome professional standards and diplomatic sensitivity required for international military competitions involving strategic relationships and alliance considerations. As the final round preparation began, Hawthorne's behavior toward Alina had become increasingly hostile and inappropriate, with actions that exceeded competitive gamesmanship, while revealing his desperation to prevent what he viewed as unacceptable challenge to American military prestige from a competitor whose capabilities challenged his fundamental assumptions about Russian military inferiority. The equipment preparation area for the International Military Sniper Championship Final had been transformed into an arena of international tension as competitors conducted meticulous inspections of their precision rifles while calculating ballistic solutions for the 13-target course that would determine world championship status. The atmosphere was charged with national pride and military prestige as representatives from 37 countries prepared for what would become legendary as one of the most challenging marksmanship competitions ever conducted. Staff Sergeant Alina Moskov's systematic approach to rifle preparation reflected her Spetsnaz training, with methodical inspection of each component from barrel harmonics to scope mounting, while calculating environmental factors for targets positioned at distances ranging from 1,200 to 2,800 meters. Her precision and attention to detail demonstrated technical competence that had impressed even skeptical American observers during preliminary rounds. Brigadier General Hawthorne's observation of Alina's preparation revealed both his technical expertise and growing anxiety, as he recognized that her methodical approach and obvious competence represented serious threat to expected American dominance. His attempts at casual conversation were clearly designed to gather intelligence about her equipment and shooting solutions, while attempting to create psychological pressure through intimidation. "Impressive rifle setup, Sergeant," Hawthorne commented while positioning himself uncomfortably close to Alina's preparation area. "Though I'm not sure that scope configuration will handle the environmental conditions we're seeing at the longer ranges. Russian optics can be challenging for shooters who don't have extensive experience with their ballistic computation systems." His tone carried condescension disguised as professional advice. Alina's response was professionally polite while maintaining focus on her preparation procedures. "Thank you for your concern, General, but I am confident in my equipment configuration and ballistic solutions." Her dismissal was respectful but clear, indicating that she was not seeking his advice or interested in discussing technical decisions with a competitor whose intentions were obviously hostile. The 13-target course configuration required engagement at distances that would test the absolute limits of both equipment and human capability, with targets positioned at 1,200, 1,400, 1,600, 1,800, 2,000, 2,200, 2,400, 2,500, 2,600, 2,700, 2,750, 2,800, and a final extreme-range target at 3,000 meters that had never been successfully engaged in previous championship competitions under similar environmental conditions. Hawthorne's equipment represented the pinnacle of American military technology, with custom modifications and specialized ammunition that had cost more than most competitors' annual equipment budgets. His rifle's enhancements included precision barrel work, advanced trigger systems, and cutting-edge optics that provided every possible technological advantage while creating impressive display of American manufacturing capabilities. "You know," Hawthorne continued, moving closer to Alina's position despite obvious signals that his presence was unwelcome, "precision shooting at these ranges requires understanding of advanced ballistic computation and environmental factors that take years to master. Russian training programs don't typically provide the depth of technical education that American snipers receive through our advanced courses." Alina's continued focus on ammunition selection and ballistic preparation, while ignoring Hawthorne's increasingly obvious attempts at distraction, demonstrated both professional discipline and confidence in her own capabilities. Her systematic approach to equipment preparation was technically sophisticated, indicating training that matched or exceeded American standards despite Hawthorne's dismissive assumptions. Other international competitors in the preparation area were beginning to notice Hawthorne's inappropriate behavior, with several exchanging glances that indicated recognition of his unprofessional conduct, while uncertainty about appropriate intervention given his senior rank and position as host nation representative. The diplomatic implications were becoming apparent to experienced military observers. "I noticed your preliminary scores were quite impressive," Hawthorne observed, his tone becoming more obviously patronizing. "Beginner's luck in international competition can be remarkable, but championship shooting is where experience really separates professional snipers from recreational marksmen who perform well in practice but struggle under pressure when national prestige is at stake." The meteorological station's latest atmospheric readings required adjustment of ballistic calculations for the extreme-range targets, with computer-generated solutions that Alina entered into her scope's advanced compensation system with the same methodical precision that had characterized her entire preparation process. Her technical competence was becoming increasingly obvious to observers familiar with precision shooting requirements.
Hawthorne's equipment inspection revealed modifications that exceeded normal competitive standards, with specialized components that provided marginal performance advantages, while demonstrating American commitment to maintaining technological superiority in international military competitions. His preparation was technically impressive, but lacked the systematic thoroughness that characterized Alina's approach. "Interesting ballistic computer system," Hawthorne noted, attempting to observe Alina's equipment despite her obvious discomfort with his proximity. "Though I'm not sure those solutions account for the atmospheric variations we typically see at extreme ranges. Russian computational systems have advantages in precision and reliability that foreign equipment often lacks." The final minutes of preparation time were crucial for mental conditioning and equipment verification. But Hawthorne's continued presence and increasingly inappropriate comments were clearly designed to disrupt Alina's concentration while positioning him for whatever escalation he was planning as the competition moved toward actual shooting phase. International observers and competition officials were becoming aware of the tension developing between American and Russian representatives, with growing concern about potential diplomatic complications if Hawthorne's behavior continued to escalate beyond acceptable limits of competitive gamesmanship into territory that might create international incidents. As the range safety officer announced final preparation time, Hawthorne's behavior shifted toward more direct interference with Alina's preparation, his growing desperation evident as he realized that psychological intimidation tactics had failed to shake her confidence or disrupt her systematic approach to technical preparation for championship shooting. The moment of confrontation was approaching as Hawthorne positioned himself for direct intervention in Alina's preparation, his institutional arrogance and personal bias overcoming diplomatic sensitivity and professional conduct expected from senior military officers representing American interests in international competitions with significant strategic and political implications.
The critical moment arrived when the range safety officer called competitors to their final shooting positions, and Brigadier General Hawthorne made his calculated decision to prevent Staff Sergeant Alina Moskov from completing what appeared to be preparation for a championship-winning performance that would challenge American military prestige before international audience of defense officials and military leaders from 37 countries. "Allow me to assist you in carrying that precision equipment to the firing line," Hawthorne offered with false courtesy, reaching directly for Alina's rifle scope without waiting for her response. His movement was sudden and aggressive, designed to seize control of her carefully calibrated optics while creating appearance of helpful assistance that would make resistance seem ungrateful and diplomatically inappropriate. Alina's immediate recognition of Hawthorne's sabotage attempt triggered defensive responses that her Spetsnaz training had made automatic, her assessment of situation identifying his action as equipment interference that could destroy her competition performance while potentially damaging precision optics that had been configured through hours of meticulous preparation for championship shooting. "General, I am capable of managing my own equipment," Alina stated firmly while positioning herself to protect her rifle and optics from unauthorized handling, her tone professional but carrying unmistakable authority that made clear she would not tolerate interference with her competition preparation. Her stance indicated readiness for whatever escalation might follow from his inappropriate behavior. Hawthorne's response was to ignore her obvious rejection of his interference while continuing his reach toward her precision scope, his superior rank and host nation status creating what he believed would be overwhelming pressure for compliance despite inappropriate nature of his actions. His movement became more aggressive as his initial approach was rebuffed by a competitor whose resistance exceeded his expectations. "I must insist on inspecting this equipment for safety compliance," Hawthorne declared with artificial authority, his hand closing on scope housing while attempting to remove it from rifle mount in action that would have disrupted hours of careful calibration and potentially damaged expensive precision optics. His intentions were clearly hostile, despite pretense of safety inspection.
The moment Hawthorne's hands made contact with her rifle scope, Alina's Spetsnaz training took control of situation with responses that had been drilled into muscle memory through thousands of hours of close-quarters combat preparation. Her reaction was instantaneous and devastating, designed to protect her equipment while neutralizing threat to her competition performance and national representation. Her left hand intercepted Hawthorne's wrist with lightning speed, while applying controlled pressure to nerve clusters that immediately disrupted his grip strength, while her right hand delivered precise strike to his elbow joint that hyperextended arm beyond natural range of motion. The technique was executed with surgical precision, designed to cause immediate incapacitation without permanent damage. The distinctive sound of Hawthorne's wrist bones fracturing was audible throughout preparation area as Alina's defensive technique applied exactly amount of force necessary to stop his sabotage attempt while demonstrating effectiveness of Russian Special Forces combat training against larger opponents who relied on rank and intimidation rather than actual fighting skills. Hawthorne's scream of pain and shock echoed across range as the reality of his crushed wrist penetrated his assumptions about easy intimidation of a foreign competitor he had seriously underestimated. His injury was immediately obvious as his hand hung at unnatural angle while his face contorted with pain and disbelief at the unexpected consequences of his sabotage attempt. "You broke my fucking wrist!" Hawthorne shrieked, his military bearing collapsing into panic and rage as he processed what had happened to him. "She assaulted a general officer. This is assault on superior officer and I demand immediate arrest. Medical personnel, I need immediate medical attention." His hysteria was evident as situation spiraled beyond his control. Competition officials and international observers immediately responded to Hawthorne's screams, creating a crowd of witnesses who observed the aftermath of what appeared to be a brief but decisive physical confrontation between an American general and a Russian sergeant. The scene was chaotic, as medical personnel were summoned while officials attempted to determine what had occurred during equipment preparation. "Sir," Alina reported to senior competition official with complete professional composure despite extraordinary circumstances. "General Hawthorne attempted to sabotage my competition equipment, and I defended my rifle using appropriate defensive techniques. His interference could have damaged precision optics and destroyed my championship preparation." The range safety officer's immediate priority was ensuring medical care for Hawthorne's obvious injury while maintaining competition schedule and determining appropriate response to what appeared to be unprecedented incident during international military competition with significant diplomatic implications for host nation and participating countries. Medical personnel who arrived to treat Hawthorne's injury confirmed that he had sustained complex fracture involving multiple bones in his wrist and forearm, requiring immediate stabilization and transport to advanced medical facilities for surgical repair. The injury would eliminate him from competition while requiring extended rehabilitation and possible permanent limitation of hand function. Witness statements from international competitors confirmed that Hawthorne had been behaving inappropriately toward Alina throughout preparation period, with increasingly aggressive attempts at intimidation and interference that had culminated in unauthorized handling of her competition equipment despite her clear objections and professional requests for him to maintain appropriate distance. Colonel Patricia Martinez, the competition director, immediately recognized that the incident would require formal investigation while determining whether the championship could continue as scheduled. Her priority was ensuring fairness and safety for all international competitors while managing an unprecedented situation that could affect the competition's reputation and diplomatic relationships between participating nations.
The decision to proceed with the International Military Sniper Championship final, despite Brigadier General Hawthorne's injury and removal from competition, created an atmosphere of unprecedented tension and international scrutiny as competitors and spectators processed the dramatic confrontation, while recognizing that Staff Sergeant Alina Moskov would now demonstrate her precision shooting capabilities without further interference from the sabotaged American representative.
Colonel Martinez's announcement that the competition would continue as scheduled reflected her assessment that Hawthorne's behavior had been inappropriate and that Alina's defensive response had been justified, while ensuring that the championship maintained its integrity despite dramatic incident that had eliminated host nation's primary representative through his own misconduct and attempted sabotage. The 13-target course awaited remaining competitors with challenges that would test ultimate limits of precision shooting capability, from environmental assessment and ballistic calculation to physical control and psychological pressure management, under scrutiny of international military leadership and competitive shooting enthusiasts who understood they were witnessing elite-level marksmanship under extraordinary circumstances. Alina's preparation for actual shooting phase demonstrated same methodical professionalism that had characterized her equipment setup, with final verification of ballistic computer solutions, scope adjustment confirmation, and mental conditioning that reflected comprehensive understanding of precision shooting requirements under championship conditions enhanced by adrenaline from recent confrontation. The Accuracy International Arctic Warfare rifle that Hawthorne had attempted to sabotage was revealed to be in perfect condition following his brief contact with optics, precision configuration undisturbed by his interference attempt, and ready to deliver accuracy that would be essential for success in challenging 13-target engagement sequence at distances that exceeded most competitive shooting standards. Shooting order for final elimination round placed Alina in 4th position among remaining 7 international competitors, providing opportunity to observe initial performances while maintaining sufficient time for her own shooting without psychological pressure of leading off championship final. The position was tactically advantageous for someone with her competitive experience and technical preparation. The first competitor's performance established standard for final round, with 11 hits out of 13 targets and precision that demonstrated championship-level capability while creating pressure for subsequent shooters to match or exceed his accuracy. His shooting was technically competent but not exceptional, leaving room for improvement by following competitors, including several who had consistently outperformed expectations. The second shooter's performance was impressive, with 12 successful target engagements, including accurate hits on targets at ranges exceeding 2,700 meters that demonstrated exceptional skill and equipment capability. His success created additional pressure for remaining competitors while establishing new performance standards that would be difficult to match or exceed. The third competitor struggled with environmental conditions and equipment limitations that prevented successful engagement of extreme-range targets, achieving only 9 hits out of 13 attempts due to wind miscalculation and apparent psychological pressure that affected shooting consistency. His difficulties created opportunity for subsequent shooters who could maintain technical control. Alina's approach to firing line was marked by complete professional composure, despite recent physical confrontation and additional attention her defensive action had attracted from spectators and officials. Her demeanor suggested that Hawthorne's sabotage attempt had not affected her psychological preparation or confidence in her shooting capabilities under championship conditions. International observers positioned around the firing line provided real-time assessment of shooting performance while creating additional psychological pressure as competitors realized that every shot was being evaluated by military experts who could identify technical excellence or tactical errors. The scrutiny was intense, given diplomatic implications of competition results. Range environmental conditions had stabilized during time required for medical response to Hawthorne's injury, with consistent wind patterns and stable atmospheric pressure that would allow precision shooting solutions to remain valid throughout the shooting sequence. The conditions were favorable for exceptional performance by competitors with proper technical preparation and mental conditioning. Alina's pre-shooting routine included final verification of ballistic computer solutions, scope adjustment confirmation, and breathing control exercises that demonstrated comprehensive preparation for championship-level precision shooting under pressure conditions that had eliminated many competitors throughout the preliminary rounds. Her systematic approach was methodical and confident. The target array at distances ranging from 1,200 to 3,000 meters represented ultimate test of precision shooting capability, with the smallest targets requiring shot placement accuracy that approached theoretical limits of both human capability and equipment performance. Success would require perfect execution of every technical element while maintaining psychological control under international scrutiny. Spectator attention focused intensely on Alina as she assumed shooting position, with defense ministers, military attachés, and international observers recognizing that her performance would be evaluated not only for marksmanship excellence, but also as a demonstration of Russian military capabilities following dramatic confrontation that had eliminated American competitor through his own inappropriate behavior. Her shooting position demonstrated textbook precision shooting technique with proper body alignment, rifle support, and sight picture that indicated comprehensive training and natural shooting ability. Her positioning was technically perfect while appearing completely relaxed despite extraordinary circumstances and intense international scrutiny from military leadership representing dozens of countries. The range safety officer's final safety verification confirmed that all personnel were in protected positions while shooting lanes were clear for safe firing, his procedures ensuring that the championship final could proceed without safety concerns while maintaining technical standards that had made the competition premier international military marksmanship event. As Alina prepared to engage the first target in what would become legendary as one of most impressive precision shooting demonstrations in competitive military history, spectators and competitors understood they were about to witness either vindication of Russian capabilities or confirmation that championship pressure could overcome even the most technically competent shooters under extreme conditions.
The first shot from Alina's Accuracy International rifle broke the silence with the distinctive crack of precision ammunition, followed immediately by the metallic impact of the bullet, striking dead center of the 1,200-meter target with accuracy that exceeded championship standards and demonstrated the exceptional capability that Brigadier General Hawthorne had tried desperately to prevent through his failed sabotage attempt. Her shooting rhythm established itself immediately as she smoothly transitioned to the 1,400-meter target, her bolt manipulation and scope adjustment demonstrating technical competence that separated elite marksmen from merely skilled shooters. The second shot followed within 20 seconds of the first, striking perfect center with precision that drew audible appreciation from experienced international observers who recognized exceptional marksmanship. The 1,600-meter target required more significant ballistic adjustment for wind drift and bullet drop, but Alina's preparation had anticipated environmental factors perfectly. Her third shot impacted precisely in target center, maintaining perfect accuracy that was transforming her performance into demonstration of exceptional marksmanship capability under championship pressure and international scrutiny. International spectators who had witnessed thousands of rounds fired in military competitions recognized they were observing something extraordinary as Alina's systematic progression through increasingly challenging targets maintained precision that exceeded normal championship performance. Her shooting was approaching theoretical limits of both equipment and human capability under competitive conditions. The 1,800-meter engagement represented distance where environmental factors began to significantly challenge even expert marksmen, with wind drift and atmospheric conditions creating variables that could easily cause misses despite perfect technique and preparation. Alina's fourth shot struck target center with authority that confirmed her ballistic calculations had been exceptional throughout preparation phase. Her shooting position remained perfectly stable throughout sequence, with no indication of fatigue or psychological pressure despite intense international scrutiny and extraordinary circumstances that had preceded her performance. Her breathing control and trigger manipulation demonstrated technical mastery that required years of dedicated training and natural shooting ability enhanced by Spetsnaz conditioning.
The 2,000-meter target pushed rifle system toward limits of effective range for precision shooting under competitive conditions, with bullet trajectory and environmental factors creating challenges that only most skilled snipers could consistently overcome. Alina's fifth shot maintained her perfect accuracy, striking target center with precision that defied mathematical probabilities of such consistent performance. Range officials and international competitors were beginning to realize they were witnessing one of most exceptional shooting performances in military competitive history, with accuracy approaching theoretical perfection under conditions that typically cause even expert marksmen to struggle with consistency. Her performance was redefining expectations for championship-level shooting under pressure. The psychological pressure of maintaining perfect accuracy while knowing that every subsequent shot would either continue exceptional performance or end perfect streak would have overwhelmed most competitors, but Alina's demeanor suggested complete focus and confidence in technical preparation and shooting capabilities that had been proven through Spetsnaz training and operational experience. The 2,200-meter target represented extreme long-range shooting that challenged both equipment limitations and human capability to accurately assess environmental factors and execute precise shot placement. The engagement required ballistic solutions that pushed beyond normal precision shooting into realm of extraordinary marksmanship that few military personnel ever achieved under any conditions. Her sixth shot struck the 2,200-meter target with same center precision that had characterized her entire performance, maintaining accuracy that was statistically improbable but technically perfect given her preparation and execution. The impact confirmed that her shooting skills exceeded even most optimistic assessments of her competitive potential and Russian military capabilities. The 2,400-meter engagement required environmental assessment and ballistic calculation that tested the limits of competitive shooting while demanding perfect equipment performance and human capability. Success at this range separated truly elite marksmen from merely exceptional shooters, requiring combination of technical knowledge, natural ability, and psychological control that few possessed. Alina's eighth shot maintained perfect precision at 2,400 meters, demonstrating shooting capability that exceeded normal competitive standards while confirming that Russian military training had produced marksmen whose abilities challenged assumptions about American technological and training superiority in precision shooting disciplines. The 2,500-meter target approached maximum effective range of rifle system under competitive conditions, requiring ballistic solutions that accounted for numerous environmental variables while demanding perfect execution of every technical element. The engagement represented ultimate test of precision shooting capability under championship pressure and international observation. Her eighth shot struck perfect center at 2,500 meters, maintaining accuracy that was approaching legendary status while demonstrating capabilities that exceeded international competitors' expectations and challenged fundamental assumptions about equipment limitations and human performance under extreme conditions. The remaining 5 targets at ranges from 2,600 to 3,000 meters would determine whether Alina's performance would be remembered as exceptional or historically significant, with perfect accuracy on 13 consecutive targets representing achievement that might never be duplicated under similar competitive conditions and international pressure.
The transition to extreme-range targets beyond 2,500 meters represented entry into precision shooting territory that few military snipers ever experienced outside of specialized operational conditions, where environmental factors became so significant that successful target engagement required not only exceptional marksmanship skills, but also intuitive understanding of ballistics that exceeded textbook knowledge and entered realm of artistic mastery. The 2,600-meter target demanded ballistic solutions that pushed Alina's equipment and capabilities toward absolute limits, with atmospheric conditions, wind patterns, and trajectory calculations requiring precise adjustment of scope settings while maintaining psychological control necessary for shot execution under championship pressure that had eliminated most competitors throughout international competition.
Her ninth shot struck the extreme-range target with devastating precision, the impact visible through spotting scopes as her bullet found perfect center despite environmental challenges that made such accuracy nearly impossible under competitive conditions. The hit confirmed that her shooting capability exceeded even optimistic projections of human performance at distances approaching equipment limitations. International observers who had spent decades evaluating military marksmanship were witnessing performance that challenged their understanding of precision shooting possibilities, with accuracy maintained through range progression that systematically eliminated normal competitive assumptions about environmental limitations and human capability under psychological pressure. The 2,700-meter engagement required environmental assessment that approached meteorological science, with atmospheric density, temperature layers, and wind patterns, creating ballistic variables that could easily cause target misses despite perfect shooting technique. Success at this range demanded integration of technical knowledge with intuitive understanding that separated truly exceptional marksmen from skilled technicians. Alina's 10th shot maintained her perfect accuracy at 2,700 meters, striking target center with authority that demonstrated mastery of extreme-range shooting that few military personnel achieved during entire careers. Her consistency was redefining competitive shooting standards while proving Russian military capabilities that exceeded international assessments and challenged American technological assumptions. The psychological pressure of approaching perfect performance on 13 consecutive targets was creating unprecedented spectator attention as military leaders from around the world recognized they were witnessing historically significant demonstration of precision shooting that would influence training programs and competitive standards for years following championship conclusion. The 2,750-meter target represented distance where bullet trajectory became parabolic arc, requiring elevation adjustment that approached maximum scope capability while accounting for environmental factors that could deflect projectiles significantly from intended path. The engagement demanded perfect synthesis of technical preparation with execution capability under extreme pressure. Her 11th shot struck perfect center at 2,750 meters, maintaining accuracy that was approaching miraculous while demonstrating shooting skills that exceeded theoretical projections of human capability combined with equipment performance. The impact confirmed that exceptional preparation could overcome limitations that normally prevented successful engagement at such extreme ranges. The 2,800-meter engagement pushed beyond normal precision shooting into territory where success required almost supernatural ability to assess environmental conditions while executing shot placement with accuracy that defied probability calculations. The target represented ultimate test of marksmanship capability under competitive conditions that had never been successfully completed. Alina's 12th shot struck perfect center at 2,800 meters, completing engagement sequence that had systematically exceeded every expectation while demonstrating precision shooting mastery that would be studied and analyzed by military training programs worldwide. Her performance had established new standards for competitive marksmanship that might never be equaled under similar conditions. The final target at 3,000 meters represented engagement distance that exceeded practical limitations of rifle system under normal conditions, requiring ballistic calculation and environmental assessment that pushed beyond established precision shooting parameters into realm of extraordinary achievement that would define championship legacy and international military reputation. Spectator attention was complete silence as Alina prepared for her shot that would determine whether her performance would be remembered as exceptional or legendary. With perfect accuracy on 13 consecutive targets at extreme ranges, representing achievement that would influence precision shooting development and training for generations of military marksmen worldwide. Her preparation for final shot demonstrated same methodical approach that had characterized entire performance, with careful environmental assessment, ballistic verification, and breathing control that suggested complete confidence in technical preparation despite extraordinary challenge of maintaining perfect accuracy at maximum equipment range under championship pressure. The 3,000-meter target appeared as small dot through rifle scope, requiring shot placement accuracy that approached theoretical limits of human vision and equipment capability, while accounting for environmental factors that could easily cause complete target miss despite perfect preparation and shooting technique under ideal conditions. International military observers held their breath as Alina's final shot crossed extreme distance toward target that would complete either perfect championship performance or demonstrate that even exceptional marksmanship had practical limitations that prevented success under the most challenging competitive conditions ever attempted. The bullet's impact at 3,000 meters struck perfect target center with precision that completed historically significant shooting demonstration, achieving perfect 13 for 13 accuracy that established new competitive standards while proving Russian military capabilities that exceeded international assessments and challenged fundamental assumptions about precision shooting possibilities.
The immediate aftermath of Alina's perfect 13 target performance created stunned silence, followed by unprecedented international recognition as defense ministers, military attachés, and competitive shooting experts processed the historical significance of precision marksmanship that had exceeded every theoretical projection of human capability combined with equipment performance under championship conditions. Colonel Martinez approached the firing line with obvious amazement, her extensive experience with international military competitions providing perspective on just how extraordinary Alina's performance had been under circumstances that would have overwhelmed most competitors. Her congratulations carried weight of professional recognition from someone who understood technical achievement that had just been demonstrated before international audience. Staff Sergeant Moskov, Colonel Martinez announced to assembled international spectators, has just delivered the most exceptional shooting performance in international military sniper championship history, achieving perfect accuracy on 13 consecutive targets at ranges from 1,200 to 3,000 meters. Her achievement represents pinnacle of military marksmanship capability and demonstrates excellence of Russian military training. The scoring verification process confirmed what international observers had witnessed: 13 perfect center hits that established new championship records for both accuracy and consistency at extreme ranges that challenged equipment limitations and human capability. The technical achievement would be documented in competitive shooting records while serving as inspiration for future military training programs worldwide. International media representatives who had covered military shooting competitions for decades recognized they had witnessed history in making, with Alina's performance providing material for documentaries and analysis that would highlight Russian military capabilities while challenging American assumptions about technological and training superiority in precision shooting disciplines. Defense ministers from participating nations approached Alina with professional respect and genuine appreciation for shooting demonstration they had witnessed, their congratulations reflecting understanding of technical excellence and psychological control required to achieve such results under championship conditions enhanced by international pressure and diplomatic scrutiny. The medical report on General Hawthorne's injury confirmed that his wrist fractures would require multiple surgical procedures and extensive rehabilitation, effectively ending his competitive shooting career while providing permanent consequences for his attempt to sabotage Alina's performance through equipment interference that had violated competitive ethics and military honor. Russian military leadership present at competition recognized that Alina's performance had implications beyond individual achievement, demonstrating effectiveness of Spetsnaz training while providing powerful example of capabilities that could inspire recruitment and training programs throughout Russian military marksmanship community while challenging international perceptions of Russian military excellence.
The incident investigation conducted by competition officials confirmed that Hawthorne's behavior had been inappropriate and that Alina's defensive response had been both justified and professionally executed, clearing her of any misconduct while documenting circumstances that had led to his injury and elimination from international competition through his own sabotage attempt. Award presentations for championship included special recognition for Alina's unprecedented perfect performance, with honors that acknowledged not only her marksmanship excellence, but also her professional composure under extraordinary circumstances that had tested both shooting skills and personal character while representing Russian military capabilities before an international audience. American defense officials who had witnessed Hawthorne's inappropriate behavior and subsequent elimination were privately acknowledging that his actions had created diplomatic embarrassment, while Alina's exceptional performance had demonstrated Russian capabilities that exceeded American intelligence assessments of foreign military training standards and competitive potential. International television interviews following competition provided Alina with opportunities to discuss both her shooting performance and the incident with Hawthorne, her professional responses emphasizing the importance of preparation, training, and maintaining focus under pressure while addressing inappropriate behavior through proper defensive techniques and professional conduct. Military sniper training programs began incorporating analysis of Alina's shooting performance into their curricula, using technical data and video footage to illustrate optimal precision shooting techniques, while demonstrating capabilities that proper training could develop in dedicated personnel with natural shooting ability and systematic preparation. Congressional testimony about American performance in international competition included examination of factors that had led to Hawthorne's elimination through his conduct, with recommendations for enhanced professional conduct training and diplomatic sensitivity preparation for military personnel representing American interests in international competitive events. International military cooperation agreements were enhanced through recognition of Russian capabilities demonstrated during the championship, with training exchange programs and technical cooperation initiatives that acknowledged excellence of Spetsnaz marksmanship training while providing opportunities for shared development of precision shooting capabilities. The long-term impact of Hawthorne's elimination from international competition served as deterrent for other military personnel who might consider inappropriate behavior toward international competitors, while establishing clear precedents for consequences that would await anyone who attempted to undermine competitive integrity through sabotage or unprofessional conduct. Russian military leadership present at competition recognized that Alina's performance had implications beyond individual achievement, demonstrating effectiveness of Spetsnaz training while providing powerful example of capabilities that could inspire recruitment and training programs throughout Russian military marksmanship community while challenging international perceptions of Russian military excellence. The championship trophy and associated awards provided tangible recognition of achievement that would remain permanent reminders of exceptional performance under pressure, while inspiring future competitors to strive for similar levels of excellence in preparation, execution, and professional behavior during international competitive events representing national military capabilities.
The formal investigation into Brigadier General Hawthorne's attempted sabotage and subsequent injury revealed a pattern of inappropriate behavior that extended throughout his international competitive career, with testimony from multiple witnesses documenting systematic attempts to intimidate foreign competitors through psychological manipulation and increasingly aggressive tactics that had culminated in direct physical interference with Russian equipment during championship competition. The Pentagon investigators documented extensive evidence of Hawthorne's unprofessional conduct, including witness statements from 23 international competitors who had experienced similar intimidation tactics during previous competitions. The pattern revealed systematic abuse of rank and host nation privileges to gain competitive advantages through inappropriate means that violated both military honor and international diplomatic protocols. The medical examination of Hawthorne's crushed wrist provided forensic evidence that supported Alina's account of defensive action, with injury patterns consistent with controlled application of defensive techniques rather than aggressive assault. The medical findings confirmed that her response had been precisely calibrated to stop sabotage attempt without causing unnecessary additional harm beyond what was required for equipment protection. State Department officials reviewing the incident determined that Hawthorne's behavior constituted multiple violations of diplomatic protocols and international military cooperation agreements, while Alina's defensive response appeared justified under both military law and international conventions governing competitive events involving foreign military personnel representing sovereign nations. The investigation revealed that Hawthorne had been subject of previous informal complaints from Allied military representatives who had experienced similar intimidation tactics during international competitions, with administrative responses that had consistently minimized concerns, rather than addressing underlying attitude problems that had contributed to escalating inappropriate behavior toward foreign competitors. Russian embassy officials provided comprehensive documentation of Alina's exemplary service record and technical qualifications, while demanding formal investigation of American conduct during championship and implementation of measures to prevent similar incidents that could damage military cooperation agreements and international competitive relationships between allied and strategic partner nations. Congressional oversight committees with appropriate security clearances were briefed on incident implications for American military reputation and international relationships, with particular emphasis on preventing future incidents that might create diplomatic complications or damage strategic partnerships through unprofessional conduct by military personnel representing American interests abroad. NATO alliance coordination was required to address concerns raised by member nations about American competitive conduct and commitment to fair international military cooperation, while reassuring Allied military leaders that isolated incident did not reflect broader institutional problems or systematic disrespect for foreign military capabilities and professional standards. The Pentagon's Inspector General Review identified multiple failures in supervision and professional development that had enabled Hawthorne's inappropriate behavior to continue unaddressed, despite documented complaints and obvious attitude problems that created risks for diplomatic relationships and military cooperation agreements with international partners and strategic competitors. Media coverage of investigation revealed broader issues of institutional bias and cultural assumptions within American military leadership regarding foreign military capabilities, leading to comprehensive reviews of training programs and professional development curricula designed to enhance cultural sensitivity and diplomatic awareness among personnel representing American interests internationally. Military justice proceedings against Hawthorne resulted in formal reprimand, reduction in rank, and elimination from all international competitive programs, with additional restrictions on assignments involving foreign military cooperation or diplomatic interaction. His career effectively ended through consequences of his own inappropriate behavior and violation of military honor. Disciplinary action was also taken against Hawthorne's supervisors, who had failed to address documented complaints about his behavior toward international competitors, with career consequences for officers whose negligence had enabled inappropriate conduct to continue and escalate to point of creating international incident during prestigious military competition. The establishment of enhanced professional conduct protocols for international military competitions ensured that future participants would receive comprehensive briefings about diplomatic sensitivity and cultural awareness, while creating accountability measures that would deter similar behavior through clear consequences for violations of professional standards and competitive ethics. Training programs for American military personnel participating in international events were redesigned to include mandatory cultural competency and diplomatic sensitivity preparation, with emphasis on representing American military excellence through professional conduct rather than intimidation tactics or technological superiority assumptions that created diplomatic complications.
Russian military leadership expressed satisfaction with investigation results and disciplinary actions taken against Hawthorne, while acknowledging American efforts to address institutional problems and prevent similar incidents through enhanced training and accountability measures that demonstrated commitment to fair international military cooperation and competitive relationships. International military observers praised American transparency and accountability in addressing inappropriate conduct, while noting that investigation results validated concerns about institutional bias and cultural assumptions that had affected previous international competitive events and military cooperation initiatives involving strategic partners and allied nations. The precedent established by Hawthorne's punishment provided clear guidelines for consequences awaiting military personnel who violated professional standards during international competitions, while demonstrating American commitment to maintaining diplomatic relationships and military cooperation agreements through enforcement of ethical conduct and cultural sensitivity standards. Allied military training programs incorporated lessons learned from incident into their own professional development curricula, emphasizing the importance of cultural awareness and diplomatic sensitivity when representing national military capabilities in international competitive or cooperative environments involving foreign military personnel and strategic partnership relationships. The long-term diplomatic impact of incident resolution included enhanced Russian-American military cooperation in areas of mutual interest, with both nations recognizing the importance of professional conduct and cultural respect for maintaining strategic relationships despite competitive tensions and occasional individual failures in judgment or professional behavior. As investigation conclusions were documented and disciplinary actions implemented, international military community recognized that American response to incident had demonstrated institutional commitment to professional standards and diplomatic sensitivity that would influence future international military competitions and cooperation agreements involving multiple nations and competitive relationships.
5 years after her legendary perfect performance at the International Military Sniper Championship, Staff Sergeant Alina Moskov had become the most recognizable symbol of Russian military excellence worldwide. Her combination of exceptional marksmanship skills and professional conduct under extreme pressure, inspiring comprehensive changes in international military training and competitive protocols that influenced precision shooting development across multiple nations and strategic partnerships. The annual Moscow Precision Standard, named in recognition of her unprecedented 13-target perfect performance, had become the benchmark for elite military marksmanship training programs worldwide, with her shooting demonstrations serving as inspiration for advanced training curricula that emphasized systematic preparation, technical excellence, and psychological conditioning necessary for exceptional performance under pressure conditions. Alina's assignment as Director of International Military Cooperation at the Russian Defense Ministry provided her with platform and authority to influence training relationships and competitive protocols globally. Her expertise in precision shooting and diplomatic sensitivity making her ideal representative for initiatives that combined military excellence with international cooperation and cultural understanding. The Hawthorne Incident Prevention Protocol, established following investigation of attempted sabotage, had become standard procedure for international military competitions, with mandatory cultural sensitivity training and professional conduct requirements designed to prevent inappropriate behavior while ensuring fair competition and diplomatic respect between participating nations and military representatives. Congressional testimony by American defense officials had supported funding increases for cultural competency and diplomatic sensitivity training, with legislators recognizing that professional military excellence required not only technical capabilities, but also cultural awareness and international cooperation skills that represented American military values appropriately in competitive and cooperative environments. The International Military Marksmanship Foundation, established with support from defense ministries worldwide, provided scholarships and training opportunities for precision shooting development while conducting research into advanced training methods and international cooperation protocols that would benefit military marksmanship communities across participating nations and strategic partnerships. NATO alliance coordination included regular precision shooting competitions and training exchanges that built upon lessons learned from championship incident, with emphasis on professional conduct and cultural sensitivity that enhanced military cooperation while demonstrating alliance capabilities and shared commitment to excellence through appropriate international competitive relationships. Russian military recruitment programs featured Alina's story as example of opportunities available for exceptional personnel, her achievements demonstrating that military service could provide platforms for international recognition while contributing to national prestige and strategic relationships through professional excellence and cultural competence in competitive environments. International military academies incorporated analysis of both Alina's shooting performance and professional conduct into leadership curricula that emphasized character development and cultural awareness as essential qualifications for military personnel who might represent national interests in international competitive or cooperative contexts involving strategic relationships. The documentary film 13 Perfect Shots had won international acclaim while reaching audiences beyond military communities. Its portrayal of Alina's championship performance and professional response to inappropriate behavior resonated with viewers who recognized universal themes about excellence, preparation, and maintaining integrity under pressure conditions. Training programs developed using techniques demonstrated during Alina's championship performance had been adopted by military forces worldwide, with systematic approaches to precision shooting development that emphasized mental conditioning and technical preparation rather than equipment superiority or intimidation tactics that created diplomatic complications. American military competitive programs had undergone comprehensive reform following investigation of institutional bias and cultural insensitivity that had enabled Hawthorne's inappropriate behavior. With enhanced oversight and accountability measures that ensured professional conduct and diplomatic sensitivity during international competitions representing American military capabilities. The annual International Military Precision Championship continued to attract elite shooters from around the world, but now operated under enhanced protocols that emphasized cultural respect and professional conduct while maintaining competitive excellence and technical innovation that advanced military marksmanship development through international cooperation and shared expertise. Corporate sponsors of international military competitions increased support following cultural sensitivity reforms implemented after championship incident, recognizing that association with professional, respectful competition provided better strategic value than connection with controversial events or personalities that created diplomatic complications or negative publicity. Veterans organizations embraced Alina's story as example of military excellence in action, using her experience to demonstrate how professional preparation and cultural competence could overcome challenges while representing national military capabilities appropriately in international competitive environments that required both technical excellence and diplomatic sensitivity. Research institutions studied psychological and technical aspects of Alina's championship performance to understand factors that enabled exceptional achievement under pressure conditions, while developing enhanced training methods and performance optimization techniques that would benefit precision shooting development and competitive excellence worldwide through scientific advancement and systematic preparation. As Alina continued her military service with expanded international responsibilities, her legacy had transformed not only competitive shooting standards but also diplomatic protocols for international military cooperation, proving that individual excellence combined with professional conduct could create lasting positive change that benefited military relations and strategic partnerships across multiple nations. The perfect 13-shot performance that had followed her defensive action against Hawthorne's sabotage attempt remained legendary within international military marksmanship communities, but her broader impact on military culture, international cooperation, and professional conduct standards had created changes that would influence military excellence and diplomatic relations for generations of future military personnel and international competitive programs. Up next, you've got two more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.